Hello and welcome to the Blackout Podcast, where I get to talk to amazing people that do amazing things. And today I have PINEO LOEB. You guys, I've listened to your music for a couple of times now, but it's your videos that kill me. How the fuck do you get the ideas for those videos? It's the videos, man.
You gotta stay inspired. I don't know. Creativity. Like some of them, the one you mentioned, the suburbs video where we were passing out the money, that was like a day. It just came to us. That's the key is once you get the inspiration, you just got to go for it. We're like, wouldn't this be funny? And once you start doing it, it kind of comes together naturally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We didn't even plan that. It's like we got the money after we'd started, the fake money.
We just drove up to the collaborator. His name's Bowen. He's
Yeah.
a rapper from the Valley. And he's just like, when we showed up, he's like, hey, you guys, he handed us a bunch of fake money. And we're like, can we use this in the video? He's like, sure. We started giving it to kids at the skate park.
That was really, really fucking crazy. So let's rewind a bit before we get to Suburbs, the video. How did you fall in love with music?
Oh, it's always been there. Probably my parents listening to it, listening to the radio. I remember when I was working like a job, I was working at Home Hardware, and we had the radio, and there was a classic rock station. And there's nothing like being in a bad scenario and you hear the music, and it's like, this is the salvation. I'm like, this is what I want to do. Just hearing it. I don't want to work, normal job. It's got to be in the music industry.
Yeah. And for you?
Like my family was always playing music growing up. And, when your brain's developing, you don't really realize at the time when you're a kid, but it does really shape your sonic palette. And I just grew up playing the drums and just loving music, and never really thought I'd be like an artist or a DJ or.
What did you want to be growing up?
Well, when growing up, probably like run a hot dog stand or something. When I was really young. Yeah. Then like maybe a veterinarian. I love animals. But
okay.
And then when I came to Halifax, it's like I'm gonna be a marketing guy.
Oh.
And then I met this guy, and then we started. It just kind of really naturally happened. You really never know where life's gonna take you.
Right. So you love music, and at what point did you think you should play or even start DJing at all?
As basically as early as I could.
Oh, wow.
I remember early on being into electronic music, and I was like, how do people perform this live? And I was Googling it and then seeing DJing, and that was kind of the first time I wrapped my head around it. I was like, all right, this is what I got to do. This is the coolest thing ever.
It is like you guys it's cool. It's cool what you guys do. Because I think, jobs where you people go to be happy.
Yeah.
That's kind of what you guys deliver. The music is great, the dancing is great, but the real thing I think DJs do is give people joy. I love that.
Definitely.
I'm super envious of that.
We always say that a lot of times people go to a show and they might not remember any specific songs, but they remember the feeling.
Yes.
When they leave. It's like, well, did that make me happy? And that's the best thing you can do. It's just spread joy. You get what you give. So, you make people happy, they make you happy. It's beautiful, back and forth.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. When I was at Dalhousie, second year, I just kind of same thing. The electronic stuff was really coming up with a lot of my friends. They were loving a lot of dance music, and I just ordered a really small thing off one of those online websites, one of those music sites, a little controller.
Yeah.
Just started playing around in my room, and then I kind of got a gig at a house party, at Dal, and then all of a sudden I got one at this Argyle, which was on Argyle, and then I met this guy, and then I guess it just naturally happened. I guess this is what I'm supposed to do.
So you were playing together before, right? Just doing your thing on the side, right? And and then you met and were playing the same kind of music.
Yeah, we were booked for the same event. It was funny, there was only one time slot left. We were supposed to play separate sets. I'm like, we'll just split a set. And I was PINEO, and he was LOEB, and then we were together, and it's PINEO and LOEB.
We just put an ampersand. So anytime we're we have a friend we play with, his name's Sparky.
Yeah.
So anytime we're there's three of us, we're like, oh, he's the ampersand.
He's the and.
Yeah. We always say that. But yeah, I was at Dalhousie. I was I was kind of working as a promoter. I was shouting another company, and then we'd bring in acts from the U.S. or other place in Canada to come play in Halifax. So then we get him to open, and then we'd play together. And then he was, I was a big fan of his music. He had some of his own releases, and I was just getting into production. So he would help me and kind of share some skills, and it just, it was great. It just kind of happened naturally over a couple of years, and then we both got a residency at Pacifico. You helped get me in there, and then we'd hang out after and start writing music, and then he'd take the bus back to Dartmouth at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Jesus, that's crazy. But that's also the love for music. Here's the thing, like, at what point did you go from like, okay, I'm gonna play music I love to actually make my own?
That was kind of where it began for me, actually. I started making it, and I was like, how do you play this out? And then that's what DJing came to.
Gotcha.
You know?
Wow.
I started really early on. I won a MacBook in like a Much Music contest. Which
No
was
way.
just so lucky. I feel like that was fate.
That's like, that is a fucking sign.
Yeah, I remember it was just like a passing thing. It was like on the Much Music website. It's like, enter this draw, and I didn't even know what the draw was for, and I entered for it, and then like I heard in the background, they're like, Mitchell PINEO, you just won a MacBook. And that blew me away. I never even like owned a computer. I get this, and it has GarageBand on it.
Nice.
You know, which you can start producing on. Started doing that, and like that's really fell in love with it. How you can just have a laptop, and then it's like you have a song at the end. That's the most exciting thing. And it's like, oh, I want to play this to people. How do people play music like this? They DJ. All right, I'm a DJ now, I guess. You know.
So like, but like, I guess let's just dive into that. What is the process for when it comes to making music for you guys?
It changes. It's different. The system, I don't know.
So sometimes if you're doing like a remix or an original song, like if you're doing an original song, usually you need some inspiration to start. So it could be, getting inspired by a chord progression of a song, or maybe there's like a sample involved,
or a groove,
drum beat. Just like a drum beat. It could be like a drum break, like from an old record, or it could be electronic drums. But there usually has to be, like, if it's just like, all right, I'm just going to sit down now and write a song, it's usually not going to turn out as well unless there's like inspiration involved, something in the fire, but yeah, it's kind of different every time, but
that's what keeps it exciting.
Yeah.
It's like we got to groove, or I want to do something with this kind of beat, something like this song, and then you put that in, then you add something else, maybe a bass line that sounds like this kind of song. So it's experimenting. That's what keeps it fun.
And so at first you were kind of just writing your songs, and then he taught you how to write some songs. But do you remember the very first song you decided to write together?
I think it was at MTV.
Yeah.
Was that the first one we did? It was like a Dire Straits remix, like Money for Nothing. I think we were just on Reddit and we found like the a cappella or the stems, like the isolated parts of the song. So it was just like the vocal for Money for Nothing. You put it in Logic, your DAW, and then you like add a beat to it, and then you can add synthesizers to it. And it was early on, and we just like threw everything in. That's kind of what's great about starting out, is there's no rules. The more you get into the business, it's like you can't use these things, you can't use this.
Yeah.
But early on, there was like so many different things we just threw in there. That was really fun. Like looking back, like there's all these sound effects and like clips from TV shows and clips from other songs. It's like not legal, but.
Whoa, wait, hold on. So you made this song, and like you were using samples without like getting sign off on
initially,
them?
yeah.
A bunch, yeah. Hopefully none of the people who own those samples are listening.
It was just free. It was just out there.
So, but like, did you ever, I guess, study it? Because like you're mentioning all these things. It's like, did you go like to like a sound college or whatever? Or you just learned everything yourself?
Well, I pretty much started learning it all myself, and then I did go to a school where they taught production, and like you start to figure it out on your own, and then actually sit down with professionals who really know it. That really helps you understand it. So a lot of the times, like you can just go for it. The creativity just comes out, and it doesn't have to be really complicated, writing music a lot of the time. It can be really natural. Sometimes you get way too caught up in the specifics and the technical aspects of it. Like one of the first songs he ever wrote, when he didn't even really know a lot about production, I still think is so good. It's like so amazing. It's really pure. It's just like he had the groove. I don't know. Like,
Thank you.
Yeah, it's great. And I heard what he was doing on his own, and I was like, yeah, this is great. I can't do that, so I need that.
It's I guess the whole musical thing, it's like if you have taste, that's what everyone has that's unique to them. You might not, be able to shred like Jimi Hendrix on the guitar, but if you have your taste, the technical skills will follow, and the more that you practice music, or I would try and learn one new thing every day. But it's been a journey. I guess were you a DJ first or a producer?
Producer first.
Producer first,
yeah.
and then I was a DJ first and a producer second. So I kind of did the opposite what a lot of people do. So I've been like, taking piano lessons and just trying to take some guitar lessons and trying to, picking people's brains and just trying to learn. Really, it's really a personal journey. Just trying to be a better version of yourself tomorrow.
Every day.
Oh wow, okay, I'm gonna steal that. Say it again.
Be a better version of yourself tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, or today, just...
Yeah, no, I like that. I'll steal it.
Please do.
So, but like, what are some inspirations for you guys, like, musically?
Well, we first did together, it was all like the classic rock remixes, like stuff we heard on the radio, grew up with. I thought that was really cool. Adding beats to that. Now we really listen to everything. We love like old stuff. That's kind of our whole concept of what we do now, is we're taking like the feeling of the past or sounds of the past and then making it sound like the future. Because music has changed so much really from the 20th to the 21st century. And we want it to kind of sound like a bit of both. We love the old school stuff, the flavors, the retro vibes.
The nostalgia, like, huge into that.
Especially when we're DJing.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so fun when you like mix in a song and then it's like everybody knows it subconsciously maybe, and then it's just go, it's like we're all connected by this music.
Right.
Whether we realize it or not.
Yeah. And so you guys started working. Well, you play this show and you were like, okay, this guy totally doesn't suck. I don't suck. We sound great together. Like, was there ever a point where it's like, let's just like actually make this official? Like, let's get married type of thing.
That's when we got the joint Instagram. For a while, we had separate ones. And then once we had the Instagram together, that was official, I think. And Loeb.
So, talking about that, like, I'll just jump on the social media stuff. Like, how do you feel, like, from a couple of years ago and now, like, how influential social media is in what you guys do?
So important. It's getting more and more, especially with our live shows right now. It's our window to people.
It's funny though. I mean, there's obviously a lot of expectations being a public figure or a musician, artist with social media, but we try and kind of aid on the light side of it. We love humor. We love making fun of ourselves, self-depreciating humor.
That
we
helps.
there's so much, especially now when you go on social media, there's a lot of, maybe bad news or stressful stuff. You really just try and avoid that and just kind of be just pretty lighthearted with a lot of our stuff on social media.
Keep it really positive.
Try and keep it positive.
Yeah.
That's kind of the positivity is kind of the main thing. Like, even when our tour was canceled, like we were out in BC in March, we had to cancel like 17 shows, and we're like, tour's canceled,
we
like
had
Okay. So let's jump back to the very first lockdown. I guess doing what you do, you kind of have to have your schedule months out, right?
Yeah.
So like, I guess, like, do you manage yourself? Do you have a manager? Or?
Yeah, we are. I
Okay,
guess.
so like we have all these shows laid out, and then we know we are flying from here to there to do these things. Everything is booked, and then you have to cancel that. How, like, you heard that? How did it really feel?
It was quite a bummer.
Yeah.
Especially we were out there in
Damn.
BC and we had all these shows. It was just getting going. I mean, we're very fortunate that we were able to do that. I think we had like 4 or 5 gigs that we'd done. And there was like 17 more to come. We were so excited. And then, we played one show and then it stopped. But yeah, I mean, this year has been so good, at least for us, in terms of getting better at everything. We really use the opportunity to become better at producing and playing. So, you got to turn everything into a positive. Whatever hand you're dealt, you got to play it well.
Wow.
But
You guys should have like a motivational, like a record where it's just like music and then you say all these nuggets you drop every couple of seconds.
Thanks.
Yeah. Like, the tomorrow thing and the, like, get, focus on the, cause like,
Can do it.
yeah, really. So how did he decide to, I guess, adapt with like everything getting cancelled and like, but you still have to kind of be out there, right?
Yeah.
Because of what you do.
Streaming. It's always about making people happy. Really.
Totally. Yeah, I mean, we are really lucky, I guess, in Canada in terms of the musicians and the artists didn't just get left in the dust. Like, you know, we talking to people we know in the States, and, you know, they got people in New York got like one payment from the government, and that was it. So we were very fortunate that Mr. Trudeau helped us out.
Yeah,
but
kept us afloat.
Kept us
Things were most
afloat.
dire.
But, you know, luckily there's grants, so we're trying to apply for all the grants we can. And we encourage anyone who's listening to apply for grants too, because we're super lucky in Halifax and in Canada to have all those programs. And I guess just kind of transitioning with like Pacifico, the club we work at in Halifax, was open for quite a bit, but we're trying to transition to build a Twitch channel. We did a bunch of live streams, and now we're kind of relaunching that. And yeah, just trying to kind of turn into a positive. It's like, you know, every artist in the world is in the same position as us. You know, obviously we were bummed. We had some of our biggest festival bookings of our
biggest
career.
show ever. For years, we're like, we really want to play at Shambhala Music Festival. It's the best festival in Canada. For years, we were going there, and then this year, we finally got booked, and it was the best thing ever. We
Yeah.
were so happy. We bought streamers and fired them off in the room. Like, yeah! And it was like less than a month later, it's like, that's not happening.
Oh no, gosh.
Yeah, and we're still finding like little streamers in the room as reminders. Like,
A reminder, yeah.
Our
didn't
cat
happen.
just starts choking on a streamer. Like, no.
Oh, well.
But
Okay.
hey, you know what? We're alive. We're healthy. We're happy. We're trying to do the best we can. It's like it's the 4 agreements. Is another thing. I don't know if you're familiar with it. It's
You know, my wife is the one into, like, she knows all these things. She's usually here because she's producing, but, like, she's not here today. Like, she would know that. I think she's mentioned that to me before. I'm just like, okay.
We both
Yeah.
read that. It's really helpful.
it
So
helps
Can we
us
what
out.
are
remember
they?
it? Can we remember
So
it?
we always forget one. Okay, so it's always do your best.
Always try your best.
Always try your best.
Don't take anything personally.
Oh, I like that one.
Nothing. That's great advice.
Yeah, that's the best one. Be impeccable with your word is the third one, and the fourth one is
The one we always forget.
I knew we were
We
gonna
can remember 3 agreements pretty good.
Wait, what is the being paid? Okay, so when you say something, do it, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that, okay.
Don't
Yeah.
take anything personally. That's a great
That is a
thing.
fucking, like, you know what?
Yeah.
You know what? I tell people, like, you know, especially with Instagram and stuff, like, if someone criticizes your work, like that, it's not for that person.
Yeah.
I don't understand why people get pissed over it. Like, why you take things?
Don't
so
let them
personally?
drag you down.
Like,
Yeah.
man,
Stay in your own lane.
So who's the, like, this 4 principle or 4 agreements
Yeah.
person? Is it like a book?
It's
It's
a
a
book.
book,
Yeah.
I'll check it out.
It's great.
Yeah. It's if you just type in, we always forget the fourth.
Maybe
one.
by the end we'll think of the 4th one.
Okay, like,
It's kind of
can
the
someone
joke.
Google it, please.
Jamie,
The
pull
4
that up.
agreements, because we need to know what it is. Okay, yeah. So you know, you kind of live by these tenets, and it shows that because you bring so much joy into your sets, right? But like when you decide to work on a record, you bring the same thing in.
Definitely. Oh. Well, I mean, we like to do all sorts of records. That's really important for us, is to have a spread. Like, primarily, we're a party dance act. You know, but sometimes we feel sad or emotional or like romantic, all these different feelings, and we put those in songs as well. So we have them. But the core of what we do is just positivity and happiness. And I mean, there's songs for any emotion, really, the whole spectrum. I think that's really important.
Yeah,
Different
yeah.
moods.
Yeah.
When you want to make an album, like, what's your process? Like, do you say we have to get this thing ready by that time?
That helps. Set deadlines really helps, or you'll never get it done.
It's a great question though. Typically, it's just like we'll just make a private playlist on SoundCloud with any potential candidate,
Yeah.
and then it's like, what are the best 12 songs out of these 30, and then
Putting
it's
them
just-
together and seeing how it sounds really helps. Like, let's put 10 songs together and see, does this feel like an album? So you listen to a great album, it feels cohesive. It has a theme.
Yeah.
And we try that. And usually we cycle through. Every album we've done, we've had like a lot of songs. And then you whittle them down to the ones that are still good after a while.
Do some of those songs that didn't make album 1 make album 2?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's really cool when artists do that. You know, Prince has a song that's like 9 years old, and then he brings it around on one of his newer albums, and it's like the best song song on the album or something. He did that a few times. I thought that was really cool. It's happened with us a few
Yeah,
times.
we just actually submitted an album for Sync with this company in Toronto called Hard. It's like an all Canadian company that submits songs for like movies and shows and stuff. And that was basically any tracks that didn't make an album that we like didn't want to, that we were still proud of, but we didn't want to like release.
It was like an idea, like this idea is great. This could be in like a TV show or something, but we don't have anything to do with it. So then we make like a sync album out of it, and it's just for that use. Hopefully, it will be used in TV shows or something.
Yeah, it's always nice. You know what? That's one thing people. Well, most people don't understand how important music is in film.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit! Like you can make anyone feel almost anything just by playing 10-20 seconds of a certain song while someone is doing a certain emotion. So getting the right song for the right scene is
it's key. You're a filmmaker, right? So you know all about
that.
Oh
my god. Like I was watching a film a friend of mine made, and it's emotional, but the song was so shit. It's like, what the
you gotta fix that. Music supervisor, please come in.
Oh my god, yeah. Music supervisor, you can't just take that thing out of there, because it's like, is this really emotional thing? And this person is talking about how kind of this thing is in their family, and if their mom isn't there anymore, then they are gonna they have to make sure it keeps staying in their family basically. And then the music's like, what the fuck is what are you doing? Just give me some strings, some fucking
recontextualizing it. Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So here's the thing though. At what point did you guys sit down and say, okay, so we have PINEO LOEB, we are doing this thing, but we have to kind of look at the legal part of things, because most artists, I found out, don't do that.
Yeah. You really need to. Well, once you start getting songs taken down, you work so hard on this song, you love it, and then it's gone. That hurts.
Yeah, we've had a couple remixes, with like hundreds of thousands of plays that get taken down. It's like technically, we weren't allowed to do that, but it's like, damn.
So we got to do it by the book. Especially with Spotify now too. It kind of makes it like you can't have illegal samples on there.
Yeah.
Yeah. This year is actually we're in the process of clearing a disco sample that we're using in a new single it's from a Canadian disco artist from the 70s. His name's Esteban. Really, really talented guy from Ontario. He had a record in the 70s, and we're clearing 2 songs. We're sampling 2 songs, clearing it legally. He's getting paid, so it's
great. Yeah, it can benefit everybody. As long as we all work together.
Exactly.
It's great. It keeps his song alive.
Right. And that's my thing. Apart from that, making sure you get the samples cleared is you put in all this effort and then people can't hear it again, right?
Mm-hmm.
So did you guys jump on Spotify right away?
Pretty much. Yeah.
Pretty close, yeah.
We didn't have a ton of songs that could be on it because, as DJs, I always have all these edits and stuff. You can't put those on it. It's got to be just your original songs. But it's good for artists to focus on their originals. I mean, we do so many remixes. Sometimes people don't know our originals too, but they're on Spotify, and it's really important. Just the pure music.
Yeah.
Do you like that rap thing? Like at the end of the year, everyone has the rap thing. The rap thing.
Totally, yeah.
I love it. How do you guys feel about that?
I think it's cool. I love sharing it. It's almost personal. I feel like a lot of people don't tell each other what they actually listen to. You have your face, and it's this is it. This is what I listen to.
Yeah.
I learn a lot about people seeing them.
Exactly. Man, the music a person listens to says a lot about the person, right? And we were talking before we came on that you love the same music. It brings you guys together.
Yeah, it was kind of different actually what we listened to. We love the same stuff, but our own personal tastes are different, which is why it's good that we work together. We don't think exactly the same.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you you're working on a song together, right? And you put in all the things do you ever argue about what stays and what goes?
Sort of. Not really argue.
It's just I guess we'd both try and explain why we if there's we really want this guitar part in. It's just we both are trying to rationally explain if it's gonna make the end product good, or if it's gonna make the end product good, or if it's not necessary. At least I found myself when I was like starting out as a producer, I was using way too many sounds in songs, and that's kind of a thing I guess like amateurish producers do, where it's like you put way too many elements in, and the focus isn't really clear enough. Where it takes a lot of talent to have a lot of less elements in songs.
Sometimes it's more difficult to delete sounds than add sounds in. I think that a lot of people should know that.
Yeah, you're like emotionally invested. Like, no, I cried to this guitar sound or something. You know, hypothetically, it's just like I don't want to delete that. But sometimes that's part of being a creator. You need to, I'm sure with film you feel the same in some ways. It's like
you got to cut stuff. Maybe you might love it, but sometimes you got to cut it.
I think they say kill your babies or something.
Yeah, that's one way to put it. Yeah,
they say kill your babies. It sucks. But you know what? When you sit back and look at it, it's like, oh shit, it makes sense, right? Just losing that 20 seconds there, 10 seconds there, it's like, man, but that shot was so sweet. But it's not then like the story still makes sense and it feels even stronger and tighter, right?
For the greater good.
Yeah. So when is the next album coming?
Hopefully September. It's got to be September. That's the date. Like, we're setting it, We've been working on it for a while. And we got to put the due date.
Yeah, I know. Like, it helps knowing, okay, it has to be ready now.
Yeah.
So, because if you don't, then you just tweak it. Do you know how many songs they're going to have on it?
Probably like 10. There could be 100, on it, but we want it to be one enjoyable experience. That'll be the best thing.
Do you ever decide, okay, I'm gonna work with this vocalist versus this vocalist on that song?
Mm-hmm. Well, sometimes we have like 5 vocals for the same song. That's when it gets tricky.
Yeah.
You record all these little demos, and you're like, which way could it go? You're not sure. And then sometimes we just throw everybody on. You can have 5 people on a song. Why not?
I think that Suburb song, there's like 7 different vocalists, like little people. Like we love collaborating is a huge part of our project. Working with, we just want to include as many people as we can and collaborate. And sometimes we have 6 or 7 people record on the same song. So it's like, then it's kind of a bit of a puzzle. It's like, okay, how do we make the best song with all these parts, and
the pieces,
that might be including everyone, or that might be only including one person, but then we bank those vocals, and then for another project, if it's in the same key, we're like, those vocals are, B flat major.
How big is the hard drive where you stole this stuff?
Huge. We forget about it. That's kind of what's cool. We recorded this vocal 2 years ago, and it happens to be perfect for the song we're working on today.
Yeah.
The organization.
So that's what I was going to ask you. How do you catalog it? Like, do you, with your file?
We use private SoundCloud playlists. That really helps. We have all these different playlists, so we don't forget about them. These are ones we're working on. Have that playlist there. They can just get lost.
Exactly. Because before COVID, you had shows happening, so you always had to create playlist. So you have a show coming. What's the process? You have a show coming. I don't know, 3 weeks.
3 weeks from now. So we'll each make a playlist on our own, and then we'll go on our DJ software. We'll make the cue points basically. So if there's a long breakdown, we'll have a cue point, which basically skips ahead to that particular part in a song. If there's a big silent breakdown, for example, it goes shh, and you wouldn't want that necessarily in a club show where because the energy would die out. So anyways, we both make a playlist, then we meet together, we live together, so I walk downstairs to his room.
I go up.
And I'm we go through all the songs together, yes, no, yes, we'll
if we both picked it, we can probably agree on it.
Yeah.
That's the great thing about being in a duo is it's you have someone to check. It's I should play this, and he's that would be a terrible idea. And it's yeah, you're right.
And then you kind of now put it in sequence or...
Well, we just have it laid out, and then as we're playing, we draw from it. Because you don't know how the progression of energy is going to go in a show. You may think that this moment, 20 minutes in is going to be the most hype, but people might have lower energy there, and then you have to adapt to their energy and then build them up to that high moment. So it's these are the tools. You figure out what order you want to use them in to make it work.
It's usually organized by BPM, beats per minute, and key as well, and then on our... production stuff, we have folders with vocalists, and it's labeled by the vocalist and the key as well. And then we have most of our samples on our computer also organized by key with software. So if we're working in A minor, we click A minor, there's all our strings, all our pianos, or everything's there, so we could quickly, when the inspiration's running, we could quickly be as productive as possible.
So you're mixing live, literally.
Sometimes, yeah. Well, I mean, always
Yeah.
mixing.
We're always
'cause,
live.
like, it's like,
There's like mixing like DJ songs. Sorry, I bumped
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
And then there's like mixing like things together.
yeah, that's the
yeah.
one I'm talking about. Like, because if you're taking things from this thing, do you do that while you're playing?
Sometimes,
live?
yeah, that's what's
isn't
really
that
fun.
scary?
Because we have 2 setups. That's the best thing.
Oh,
Because things can go wrong. It really helps that. Like I'll
Yeah.
be playing a song and then he could just bring an acapella that's
I
in the key and then
gotcha.
drop it on
I
top. And then we start
gotcha.
mixing things like
Because
that.
I'm like, holy shit, is that not scary and shit? But like you've
It's
been doing
scary.
actually, this is the one you've been doing for so long. Is there something, I mean, obviously, I'm guessing there's a lot, but if there are 3 things you tell yourself then that you know now, you didn't know then, what would it be?
It's a great question. What would we do? Don't be so hard on yourself. Is probably the first thing. Just enjoy it, But you got to work hard. You got to work hard. But also, don't get yourself down and don't compare yourself to other people. That's key. Run your own race.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest thing. Yeah, it's like so many people get caught up, especially in the numbers of social media. It's like it's really easy to feel bad for yourself. And you open your phone and you see DJ Blue in Japan with 1 billion followers, and like his
Don't covet
Spotify
your neighbor.
Wrapped has 50 billion plays. And it's just like, it kind of comes back to the compare yourself to yourself yesterday, or what, it's like, are we learning? Are we progressing? Is the needle moving?
That's what matters. It doesn't matter how you compare to this person. It matters how you compare to yourself yesterday.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what they
I
went
swear
through.
to God, you guys just put beats and just record these things and just, that's a fucking album.
All right. Just drag it out really slow. Lots of reverb.
Yeah. There's a song called Don'ts.
Yeah.
And it's literally that, right?
Yeah.
It's this guy, like, it's just a weird beats. I can't remember what it is, but it's called Don'ts. And then this guy has like a poem called Don'ts, and he mentioned all these things you shouldn't do. Like, it's funny.
Oh, you don't. I get it.
Yeah,
you should
yeah.
send that to us.
Yeah,
Maybe that'll
we'll-
inspire a new album.
I'll
from
send
us.
it to you. It's one of my best songs, and one of the things, every year I give myself like daily tasks. Stupid, but it kind of keeps me alive. But one year, one of the things I want to do is like take all of those things he says don't do and shoot them all. They're like really fucked up. Like one of them is like, don't like shave yourself with like a chainsaw or some shit.
Good idea.
It's like, anyway, yeah, but okay, I went off on a tangent to that one. So now, you get the song ready, you get on the night. Like, do you get, so say the club, whatever, opens at 10, what time do you guys usually like to get in?
Sometimes we show up pretty early. Like
Oh.
in Pacifico recently, we started at 10:30 and we were there at 8:30. We just love being there.
What would
You
you
know?
do in that time before people come in?
Eat pizza.
Yeah.
Usually.
Do you have a particular pizza you like from, you guys are not that far from Pizza Corner. Which one would you take?
Well, Pacifico has its own chef that makes pizza
Oh,
there.
nice.
And fancy with like prosciutto on it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Living the high life,
Yeah.
prosciutto. Yeah.
Okay, so you have pizza, just chill till people start coming in, or do you play while chilling?
You work on your playlist a bit. It's good to get in like the atmosphere of the bar. Like you feel the energy of the night, what's going on, and you're kind of making your playlist and visualize it in your head. You don't really know until you're there how it's going to feel. Just settle into it, I guess.
Yeah, we set up, maybe do like a little sound check or something. It's just like the fact that there's 2 setups, like he has his own, I have my own, is like, it helps a lot of the nerves, because if we only had one and we had some major tech issue,
Things go wrong.
Yeah.
They will go wrong. What can go wrong will go wrong. Like one time I was playing and somebody came up like to talk to me and just poured their drink on my controller.
no!
It's happened. Yeah.
or just like, oh, what would happen if I yanked this cord out of the computer? It's like we've been in so many possible crazy scenarios. It's just like,
Wait, who's responsible for that? The club or like, cause like that might mess up something, right?
When the drink got
Yeah,
spilled,
yeah, yeah.
it happened and nothing, I couldn't do
nothing.
anything. It was like 5 minutes into a set. Somebody poured a drink all over my controller and you're there to make people happy and to smile
right.
and you're dying on the inside.
thank you for spilling a drink on my stuff. Yeah.
Well, that happens, you learn. Hopefully don't let it happen again,
There's a video you made with he's an animator.
Tim Tracy.
Yeah, Tim. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was crazy sick.
Stop
Thank
motion.
you.
Thank you. That
That's
was really fun.
Fucking sick.
Thank you.
Tim
So
is
like,
awesome.
yeah, Tim is
Circles.
He's like a genius.
Yeah,
Like,
fucking hell. That video did numbers too. So like, what was the idea behind that one? Like,
We would paint us as G.I. Joes, make them look like us, and then stop motion the G.I. Joes into their own little world where we're like superheroes.
with Frankie McDonald.
And then, if we had a Frankie McDonald toy, put him in too.
We got his permission. We saw him in Cape Breton, and we're like, "Can we use your toy in our video?" He said, "Sure."
Absolutely.
And
Then you just kind of run with it, and then one idea leads to another, and then it just starts to get crazy.
right, like your videos
you know?
are crazy, and that's why I keep thinking, like, I mean, just like from your name and like the logo, you know, how you guys write your name, I get thinking that is a comic. It's a comic. I just see it like, okay, why these guys don't have a comic yet?
That's great. I grew up loving comics. I mean, I still do, but that was a big inspiration. When our friend who helps design the merch, she was just drawing us as like animated characters. And a lot of our album covers are animated too. It's drawn. We kind of like that. The idea of us more so than just specifically us. So I mean, maybe there'll be a comic.
yeah,
That'd be
I
really
love
fun.
the idea.
It'd be
for
fucking
sure.
dope, man. It'd be I really think so. So, so the Twitch thing. Talk a little bit about Twitch.
Yeah, well, we've been streaming. We've been doing it a bunch this summer. We love streaming. It's great to talk to people, just to have that connection. We're going to be doing it weekly coming up, streaming
Do you have
different
a
things.
Specific day or?
We're still figuring that out because there's a lot of different days, probably Thursday. But we'll do different things. Like Thursday, maybe we'll DJ. Like on the weekend, maybe we'll do a production tutorial. And then maybe we'll like do a gaming stream one day of the week or something. I play classics. I'm all about the classics. Like N64 games, like GoldenEye and like Zelda. You know, those are my favorites.
You know, GoldenEye, he's like really, really old, but that game is so good.
I know. It's my favorite
so
thing. I just
good.
did a full stream of it on our Twitch. It's still up there. You can check it out. I beat the whole game in one sitting. That's just something that I do.
It's so good.
I love it.
It's so good. It's so good. Okay, yeah. Okay. So what's your setup when you want to Twitch?
We got a green screen.
It's basically in my like bedroom. Yeah, we have like my closet's covered with a huge green screen. We have a table, and it's basically like, since there's no touring, there's no really shows. It's the only way that we could really kind of connect with people in a show setting. So, and your way of connecting is them kind of typing in the chat and then emojis. It's
And like I a friend of mine said, oh, you know, try this thing, and like, isn't it a little bit difficult? Because like you kind of have to like, you know, you're shooting yourself, you're doing what you're doing, but you also have to kind of look at the screen and stuff. Do you have like two monitors looking at things, or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You have one running the show,
Yeah.
and then you have your DJ laptop. It's pretty tricky.
Yeah.
It's good that we have two of us. That really helps.
And what do you usually
You know.
throw on your green screen?
Our visuals. I don't know.
yeah, we have like you know, an hour visual loop of just like, you know, pop culture stuff.
We always update it. Yeah, random things from pop culture we like, and then our own videos, and you can sync them up to specific songs and
Oh,
stuff.
nice.
But, yeah.
The probably the biggest danger is like our cat has knocked down the camera a couple times. Like you'll just see her, like sometimes it jumps on a table and it's just his ass. It's just like streaming to everyone. Like all I see is the cat's ass. Like it's just like
Timmy is the most popular part of the stream. Anytime we stream, it's like we're streaming DJ and people love it, and then Timmy the cat jumps up and people are like, ah!
Should we give him a treat? Let us know in the comments. Like that's
Yeah.
like, or it's like all our money's going towards treats and groceries. Yeah.
We have a dedicated camera for him when we stream now, our cat.
Oh,
People love it.
Wow. And then like, do you? So another thing, my friend does is like on Twitch, you can like people can like give money. Well, do you do that at all when you guys are
Sometimes.
streaming? Okay.
Gift subscriptions.
Yeah,
you know,
things like
that's the
that.
thing.
Yeah,
It's really
yeah.
great to support, a direct way to support people on Twitch now, which is nice. I subscribe to a few other DJs like the Funk Hunters. I really like them. We toured with them, you know, and you can gift subs to people, especially now. It's great to help, you know, DJs out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go back to before COVID, right? You know, you're booked for like an out of town show, and how far ahead you prepare for stuff like that?
Usually, like if we're playing at like a university or something, and we're driving, usually in the car on the way there, I'll like tether my phone to my computer, like going
Many,
through
many
the
times
Tim
done
Hortons
that.
drive-through, you know, just like.
That's
but
the thrill.
it's like we kind of have different, like sometimes it's just us two in a DJ set where we've done it so many times that it's just kind of muscle memory at this point. But we also do live shows where we bring on other musicians. Like we work with Jamila, who's a reggae artist from Halifax, and we have a guitar player, like sax player that we
Sparky,
sometimes
yeah.
bring, Sparky.
And then we'll play instruments too. That's really fun. We'll do that at like East Coast Music Awards or something, and then just play our own music and then play instruments on top.
Yeah.
It's a little different.
So we need to practice ahead of time for
Yeah.
that we actually have to do rehearsals and stuff. But if we're DJing, I think we've done it enough now in so many different settings. You know, we've done weddings, we've done fashion shows, we've done club stuff. Like that really helps your kind of skills as a DJ to be in so many different settings. Been on, you know, boats or
The Harbor Hopper cruise
Yeah,
around
that was
Harbor
Halifax.
cool. That was
Hopper.
cool. I saw that one on YouTube. I think was it YouTube?
Yeah.
Yeah, on YouTube. How did that happen?
That was the Canada Day, Halifax Canada Day.
Yeah, just Billy Comer is one of our friends. He works for Civic Events, and he's just like, yeah, do you guys want to DJ on the party hopper? We're like, hell yeah, let's do it.
We didn't even really know what to expect. We just got on this amphibious vehicle and drove
Yeah.
around Halifax, DJing for a couple hours. That was so much fun. That was one of the highlights of the year, you know?
It
And there's
looked-
nothing was like set down. A laptop sliding. It was like a new laptop. It almost fell off
Oh no.
a few times. That's so fun.
Okay, so but like the 17, so it's the 21. Like you had these shows all lined up for the year. Before COVID happened, how did you prepare for this set of shows? Like, you know, you didn't think COVID was gonna happen, so you had to like put things in place. For
We had a
it.
whole tour booked. It was
Yeah.
like months in advance. He was booking most of them, you know, calling people up. It's the system. It's pretty amazing that you can do that really on your own.
Yeah, we were supposed to go to Mexico to perform. We did last year. We were gonna go back again, and I guess like ECMAs and yeah, I guess we just like we usually book our. Luckily, we didn't book any of the other flights beside the tours, so basically just had to fly home, and we were just like concern. The biggest concern is everyone with keeping healthy, and
We had a really long tour booked though. We had a huge one last year. I think it was even longer last year. It was like 23 or something dates across Canada.
Yeah, we started in Costa Rica, and then we flew to BC after that, and then
That's a long flight.
Yeah.
That's a fucking long flight. Like, was it one straight flight? Or...
I think it was a couple.
we
Oh,
usually
fuck.
we
Laid
usually
on the
do
ground in LA for a while.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
We do the cost-effective ones, so it's like 95 transfers. Yeah.
Yeah, no, man, because like I can't even imagine. Holy shit.
That's the dream though. I always wanted to be like a touring musician. Even when it's like crappy, it's like cool because it's like this is it, This is like,
yeah.
I'm sleeping on the floor, and I'm a musician,
I'm sleeping in a dog bed. Yeah.
So, but when you get to play in places like Costa Rica and Mexico, how's that experience?
That's so cool. Music is the universal language, and you can connect with anybody just on the music. I love it. It's the coolest thing. Opens doors. Playing in Mexico on the beach was really fun. Mixing it together, playing some reggaeton and out there. What a thrill! And just people were so nice. I get emotional thinking about it. People who've never met you, and you just meet them, and then suddenly you're friends. Like that's what music does.
That's what music does.
Really? It's like,
Yeah.
wow, what
Yeah.
amazing memories.
Yeah. I know.
It's a lot of fun just experiencing different cultures, different people, and just learning the different foods. Like we performed in Nepal once. That was
That's
really
nice.
cool. Getting to seeing how they live their life, and we could learn from them, and they might be able to learn something from us as well. So yeah, just like super grateful to be able to travel and meet so many like-minded people, because we might speak a different language, you might have different traditions, but you could just, especially with music, you just like you could have the exact same music taste as people and live totally different lives and just totally connect with just that. It's so it's cool. I mean, it could be kind of hectic when you don't speak the same language and we stick out like sore thumbs. It's just
You learn
like,
quickly.
we're these like two random people here. But
Okay, so at some point we'll get a vaccine, and life will kind of return back to normal or whatever that was. What do you guys kind of see PINEO LOEB doing then?
We'll make the most of everything we got. If there's touring, we're gonna tour as much as we can. We love it. Either way, we're just gonna be full steam ahead. You know,
agreements. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you gotta live it. You can know it, but you gotta live it.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Always try your best. We're gonna try our best. We'll probably still be doing some streaming. I mean, I think streaming is still really cool. If one thing that could be good that lasts from this is just the openness. I love how like open streaming is. Like, there's no production, like too fancy production. It's very direct connection, you know, and very very open, and just feel more personally connected with everybody. I think that's pretty cool. Get to meet everybody. See people again.
The streaming is really fun. It's like the personal connection is something that can't really be replicated like fully, but it's pretty. It's like, you know, I guess it's as close as we can get right now. But you know, it's like, you know, same with, at least I find with, like, you know, video calling people versus like being in the same room as your friend. You know, it's like being there in person is a different feeling than looking at a screen, you know.
We did the sit-down shows for quite a while at Pacifica. That was pretty funny. It was actually surprisingly fun. Like on Halloween this year, like it's closed now, but we had Pacifica open and it was full of people sitting down, you know, 6 feet apart in their groups. Like everything was by the book and safe, but they're in their seats and we're playing the music and they're just in their chairs like, yeah! They're not dancing, but the energy is still there.
Yeah,
I thought that was so funny.
That's what I'm saying. I say, you know, the thing I love about DJs, like actually envious of about DJs is that they always bring joy. Like wherever they are, like, you know, when you go and listen to music, like it just lifts you up, right? And like, you know, I think everyone, I know at least I do, have songs that when I'm down, like if I listen to, I just get in a different mood.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so true. Well, can you give us an example of one?
Oh man, so there's this one song. It's actually it's weird. It's called Resurrection Blues. It's by this guy. His name is Otis something, but it's like it's so good.
I want to hear that.
Resurrection Blues.
That's a good title.
Okay.
That's a really good title.
It's sick. It's like so good.
Number one on your Spotify Wrapped 2020.
No, it's not. Number one on my Spotify Wrapped is God Damn It Golda by Mr. Kamak.
Cool.
I use it to
Mr.
write.
Kamak, yeah.
Yeah, I fucking like that guy. I use it to write it. So one thing I do whenever I'm writing, I most of my things I write to a song.
Yeah.
And like I was working on this script for like, I don't know, most of this year. Shit, we're still anyway. Most of this year I was working on this script, and that's what I was writing into. So it was just on repeat. Like, people don't listen to a song when I was driving in this morning and my friend was up. I was like, oh, this song is on a loop. Yeah, it's on a fucking loop.
This
like
does it.
If I like the song, I just put it on a loop. So yeah, my number one song was God Damn It Golda by Mr. Kamak. It's dope. But you should check out Resurrection Blues. It's like the cowboyest of the cowboyest songs.
Nice.
And I'm black as shit, but it's so good.
That's awesome.
It's really good. Like, it's you know what? Actually, I'm gonna have you guys play it. Like while we are setting up, I'm gonna play it for you. It's so
Sweet.
good.
Thank
It's
you.
so good. So the album is gonna be ready in September. Like, hopefully then things are open.
That'd be
Will
great.
you fingers crossed. Will you have like a lunch party at Pacifico?
I hope so. Yeah.
Hopefully, yeah. I mean, we're gonna try and do everything we can.
We're gonna be doing lots of singles coming forward one by one. You'll get to
When
hear
will
a
the
bit
first
of it.
one come out?
We're gonna probably have one next month. It might not be from the album, but definitely by March we'll probably have a single. Definitely, probably.
How did you decide our first single? How did you decide your first single, man? That must be crazy.
Yeah, well, we flip-flop. We've been flip-flopping this week on which one the first one is going to be. You got to feel it. It's like,
Yeah,
this is the one.
right,
we just listen to it and we
right,
feel it. Like, people
right,
got to hear this song.
right,
I think
right.
we know which one that is.
And just how the kind of music industry is going, it's turning into really like single centric with releases. Like you could have an album, ready to go, but just like in terms of Spotify for artists, how they, there's a lot of algorithmic playlists, and you could only pitch one song a month to the Spotify for artists team. Yeah. So it's like you could still release an album, but I guess it's kind of might make more sense from an algorithmic perspective to do
the
more
way the
singles.
business works now, it favors singles. So try to make the most of them.
So, like, do you ever, get this? Okay, so you have 4 songs and you're like, this is the one.
Yeah.
And people are like, fuck this song. And the one you're like, okay, whatever. And people are like, oh my God, this song. Do you ever have that?
definitely.
Yeah. Oh,
How do you handle it?
I mean, it's like we like getting outside perspectives on a lot of things. So it's like you really kind of have to trust your gut at the end of the day, because like us trusting our guts kind of got us where we are. So we need to have faith in it. But it is like, you know, we're so excited. We sent it to someone. They're like, you know, they give us some critique. They're like, oh no. Like,
Sometimes it's great though. Sometimes somebody will say something negative and you feel like bummed about it, but then you'll think and you're like, actually, I could change the song and then it would be better this way. And then it actually was a really good thing. So I'm glad that they kind of made me feel bad about that, because I learned from it. So.
But it's like, I put so much work into that song. Okay.
Can't take it personally.
Oh God, Justin is gonna kill me. Okay. So I have so many questions, and I think I'd like to have you guys back after we have like 1 or 2 singles. So we'll talk before the album comes out again, because you guys are so fun.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
This is a lot of fun.
Also, I'm gonna be like, when you guys come back next time, I'm gonna ask you to show me what the fuck. Because I was looking at your computer, I was like, it doesn't make sense. What, like, it's like a spaceship. Your controller, is that what it's
Yeah,
called? Like,
that'd be a DJ controller.
Yeah,
I'd be
yeah.
happy to share. We both like do tutorials and teach people. I taught a class on production. I love it, you know.
that's one of the things we've been doing actually, is like doing some private lessons for DJing and music production, like since the pandemic happened, just to like.
Okay, so like only from your website or?
On Zoom. You know.
No, I mean like how people can like sign up for it.
Yeah, PM us, you know.
Oh,
on
okay.
Kijiji, like, or some people come over if it's safe.
It's mostly just like kind of people we know already who we talk to, is like, you know, I want to learn more about this topic, and we've been filming tutorials as well that we're putting on our YouTube page.
Okay, I need to check that out, because like that's the thing. But then you need to get that software that Tractor is called.
Yeah, well, and then there's GarageBand, which is what I started with, which is the free version. That's for producing, and then there's free versions of Serato for DJing. So it's pretty easy to get into it. I love helping people start. It's such a gift. I'm so thankful to the people who helped me along the way initially, and the more people that are doing it, the better. There's no such thing as competition. You know, we're all in this together.
Yeah,
It's great.
No,
you know?
yeah. The one thing on this one I stole from my grandmom is like that we're all here to help each other. And like I used to be pissed when she like, cause it's like, you know, I'd be like, I can't fucking eat, and we're giving all these people our food and shit. And she was like, you know, we're all here to help. And now I'm like, I don't know, 20, 40, whatever years later, it makes sense now.
You
Like
get
it makes
yeah.
a whole ton of sense. So yeah, you guys are onto something. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank
but
you.
I can't let you leave without like at least fucking just a tiny set.
Let's play some music.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Let's do that.
Yeah,
love
so
it.
we got like a kind of a mini mix. We're just gonna kind of take you through some of our favorite originals and remixes, and I'll curate it and just talk a little bit about the songs.
Works for me.
And yeah, thank you again, Israel. Really
No, this
appreciate
was
it.
great, and I'm really gonna have you guys back. So once the first single is out, like, do you put links for people to pre-save your singles and stuff?
Sometimes certain
Okay,
songs we
okay.
might for the next one.
Yeah, you should. I'll pre-save it.
Sweet.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Last thing, check out our merch.
Oh, yeah.
PINEOLOEB.com/new-products.
Yeah.
So
Great.
like right from the website, people can get this.
Yeah, they can order it.
Okay,
Yeah, we got
great.
lots of them on there. Facebook too.
Facebook and your Instagram is @PINEO LOEB. That's it.
Yeah.
ANDPINEO
Yeah.
Thank
Easy
you
to
so
remember.
much, guys.
This is great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Awesome. Blackout Podcast. This is the PINEO and Loeb mini mix. We're going to be taking on a tour of some of our favorite remixes and originals. We're kicking her off with Circles. This is one of crowd favorite we've heard, so hope you enjoy. Featuring KO on vocals.
Like Pacifico all over again.
Running in circles through my head. I know she feeling the same way I do. So why she play so hard to get? She got me going. Round and round like a hula hoop or merry-go. Round and round like a hula hoop or merry-go. Round and round like a hula hoop or
Here we go.
This is how I go. Down, down. Let's go.
our new one with Lynx we dropped in the summer. Get out the air trumpet. This one's called Body Right, featuring Rumpus from Saskatchewan. We dropped this one on the Russian label Mixed Feed. Hope you enjoy. Here we go.
Over my body right.
This is our tribute to Mac Miller. Hope you enjoy. PINEO LOEB remix, Intergalactic. Got a couple left. Thank you so much for jamming out. Shout out to Blackout Podcast. official remix for Olivia O'Brien, released on Island Universal Records. Hope you enjoy it. Blackout Podcast, here we go! This is our last track. Thank you so much, Blackout Podcast, for having us. We're PINEO LOEB. We're from Halifax. So much fun. This is our cover of Digital Love with Rich O'Coin, Cameron Hawes, and Sparky. Got to give a big extra shout out to the guitarist Sparky coming up. You got Carpet Tunnel playing this part.
Halifax, Richard Coyne from Halifax as well.
And Cameron Hawes.
And Cameron Hawes, big collab track off our album Elevation.
Blackout Podcast, we love you. Here we go. Thank you so much. We're PINEO LOEB. Big shout out to Blackout Podcast for having us. Take care. Keep the positivity going.
Peace and love.
Peace and love, and we'll see you next time.